mynews.studio.
Picture this. A man in rural Colombia checks his phone and notices food prices have dropped. It's a small moment, but could it signal a real shift in the global fight against poverty?
It's November 6th, 2025. The numbers tell quite a story. In Latin America and the Caribbean, poverty rates are at historic lows. Indonesia, too. Only 8.47% of people there lived in poverty as of March. Is this a temporary dip, or are we seeing something more lasting?
Context is everything here. For years, poverty in these areas seemed almost stuck. Rates would fall a bit, then climb back up. In Latin America and the Caribbean, high poverty was the norm for generations. Indonesia had similar ups and downs. So what finally changed the pattern?
Let's focus on Latin America first. Between 2008 and 2023, multidimensional poverty fell from 45.8% to 25.4%. That's not just about income, it's education, health, housing too. By 2022, poverty there was at its lowest point ever recorded. Which policies actually made the difference?
A big factor was expanding pension and social security programs. These gave people, especially older adults, a minimum income to rely on. And it wasn't just a collection of projects. They became part of a bigger strategy, measured through the Multidimensional Poverty Index. Why did that approach work so well?
It comes down to having a safety net. When people trust that support is there, they're better equipped to handle setbacks. Now, switching to Indonesia, as of March this year, the poverty rate hit a 20-year low at 8.47%. What pulled those numbers down?
Indonesia tackled it from two angles: steady economic growth and targeted social support. The government worked hard to keep food prices stable, especially when inflation was high. They addressed poverty in both rural and urban areas, so progress was more balanced. Could these same strategies work elsewhere?
The basic idea can be used in other places, but it's not as simple as copying and pasting. Combining social programs with economic policy makes sense, but every country has its own set of challenges: politics, demographics, even climate risks. Actually, with those risks in mind, could these gains disappear?
That's a real concern. More people living in cities means urban poverty is rising. And climate change, floods, droughts, can wipe out years of progress overnight. Plus, economies are unpredictable, both locally and globally. Oh, and how we measure poverty. Sometimes the numbers don't tell the full story.
Measurement does matter. Each country has its own standards, so it's not always a direct comparison. Still, the takeaway is that targeted policies can have real impact. So what does all this mean for the global picture?
It means progress isn't just possible, it's happening. Examples from Latin America and Indonesia show how countries can move toward the UN Sustainable Development Goals. The formula is there: smart policies, resilience, and accurate data. The real unknown is who's going to follow next.
That's really the question for governments and organizations worldwide. Will they pick up the blueprint or let the momentum slow? Either way, these results suggest hope is justified. Action does make a difference.
So today, we've explored how targeted policies have improved lives on different continents. But the work isn't finished. There's a path forward, but it needs commitment.
Thanks for joining us as we worked through the numbers, the strategies, and the possibilities for global change. Can these successes be repeated elsewhere? That's a question for all of us.
We appreciate you listening. This episode was brought to you by mynews.studio. Give it a try for free.